Oh. Ready? Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick Baker. I'm the director of the South Dakota Arts Council. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2019 South Dakota Poetry Out Loud State Competition. Poetry Out Loud is a national program that is designed to introduce students to poetry through the memorization and recitation of poems. Memorizing poems, reading them over again, understanding that the poet chooses words carefully and with specific intent. Saying the words out loud from memory helps to internalize and shine a light on the emotion behind the poem. Reciting the memorized poem to an audience helps to focus a student's words through the student's voice and experience. This visceral experience with poems can lead to a lifelong love of poetry, which can help all of us to understand and connect to both the beauty and the tragedy of our world around us just a little bit better. Poetry Out Loud is a program that is facilitated by the National Endowment for the Arts, as well as the Poetry Foundation on the national level, and by the South Dakota Arts Council, with support from Arts South Dakota and South Dakota Public Broadcasting here in our state. I'd like to take just a moment to thank the Sioux Falls School District and Edison Middle School for the use of this space today and for this continued partnership over the past several years of Poetry Out Loud. I'd also like to thank Ben Schumacher, communications specialist with the district, for his work filming and live streaming today's competition. On that note, hello to everybody who is watching this streaming online today. We will get the student recitations underway in just a few minutes. First, we are honored to have a representative of the Poetry Foundation with us today. Justine Haka joins us from Chicago. Welcome, Justine. And now it is time to introduce our esteemed panel of judges, all of whose scores will decide which of these students will advance beyond today's state competition to go to Washington, D.C. to compete in the National Poetry Out Loud competition. First off, we have business owner, writer, and radio show host Ted Herron. Ted, he grew up on his family's farm just outside of Beersford, South Dakota, at a place the locals know as Norway Center. After completing his studies in broadcast journalism and horticulture at the land-grant university, Ted applied the strong work ethic and the planting tips he learned on the farm to starting his own advertising agency called Fresh Produce, as well as a late-night public radio show, The Rock Garden Tour. Hello, Ted. Next, we have Dr. Barbara Duffy, Associate Professor of English at Dakota Wesleyan University. Barbara is a 2015 NEA Literature Fellow in Poetry and the author of 2 full-length poetry collections, including Simple Machines, which won the 2015 Washington Prize. An associate professor of English at Dakota Wesleyan University, she lives in Mitchell, South Dakota with her son. Hello, Barbara. And finally, we welcome back Professor Emeritus of Communications and Theater at SDSU and South Dakota Hall of Fame inductee Raymond Peterson. Hello, Ray. Ray is a retired Professor Emeritus in Communication Studies and Theater from South Dakota State University. During his 40 years at SDSU, Ray taught both speech and technical theater courses, designed hundreds of sets, and directed numerous musicals for both the main stage and Prairie Repertory Theater. In addition to his university contributions, Ray has judged oral interpretation and one-act play contests for the South Dakota High School Activities Association, and for the past 50 years has served as producer and production director for the annual Miss South Dakota pageant in Hot Springs. Ray was selected to serve as judge for the very first state Poetry Out Loud contest held at the State Capitol building in Pierre back in 2006. And get this, he has attended every state contest since, either as a judge or simply as a supporter of Poetry Out Loud. We can't thank you enough, Ray. Our accuracy judge and prompter for the competition today is South Dakota Arts Council Deputy Director Rebecca Cruz. Rebecca is the Arts Education Director for the Arts Council. She heads up the Poetry Out Loud program. She has undergraduate degrees in theater, English, and Spanish. She has an MFA in playwriting, and she just submitted her final dissertation to complete her PhD in international public policy, focusing on the impact of public arts funding on community health and wellness. So students, you're going to want to make a note of where Rebecca is seated. She'll be the person who prompts you if you need that. If you should need a prompt, please be sure to look directly at Rebecca, maybe even give her a small nod so that she can be sure that you're in need of a prompt rather than pausing for effect. She will not prompt you unless you make eye contact and indicate that the prompt is needed. Our scorekeeper today is South Dakota Arts Council Programs Coordinator Catherine Vandell. Hi, Kate. Thank you for your work today. Finally, I'd like to introduce our Poetry Out Loud State Coordinator and today's MC for the competition, DJ Steckelberg. DJ?
Thank you, sir. Hi, everybody. I'll do that again. Hi, everybody. We're going to get started here. The way this works, if you haven't been here before, is this first time around, I'll call your name, give a short little introduction for you. You come up here, you'll get settled, and then just start your poem, introduce yourself, do all that. Your judges are right here. Before the next person comes up, I'm going to wait until all the judges are ready, then I'll make the introduction. We'll do that for round 1. For round 2, then, I'll just say your name and you'll come up, but we'll do the same thing with judges. Just wait for me to say your name, then you can come up here. Just make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're confident, make sure you're clear. Like Patrick just said, Rebecca will be right there. She'll do your accuracy. If you really, really go up on a line, look at her. She'll help you out. It's not a big deal, and she'll just help you through it. And let's have a lot of fun today. Let's kind of keep this, I want to keep it relaxed because I know what we're doing here. It's fun. This is nice. You've worked really hard at it. We should all enjoy the day. So let's do that. Alrighty. My computer has to make sure it's me. All right. First up today, got a senior from Hanson, Shayna Detterman. Next year she's going to go to USD to study psychology. And her favorite book is Oryx and Crake. Yeah. Last year she didn't want you to know anything about her. This year you get to know that. Come on up, Shayna.
What the Oracle Said by Shara McCallum. You will leave your home nothing will hold you. You will wear dresses of gold, skins of silver, copper, and bronze. The sky above you will shift in meaning each time you think you understand. You will spend a lifetime chipping away layers of flesh. The shadow of your scales will always remain. You will be marked by sulfur and salt. You will bathe endlessly in clear streams and fail to rid yourself of that scent. Your feet will never be your own. Stone will be your path. Storms will follow in your wake, destroying all those who take you in. You will desert your children, kill your lovers, and devour their flesh. You will love no one but the wind and ache of your bones. Neither will love you in return. With age, your hair will grow matted and dull, your skin will gape and hang in long folds, your eyes will cease to shine. But nothing will be enough. The sea will never take you back.
Brianna Rohr is a senior at Washington High School. She's in the show choir, oral and terp, theater. She sings downtown on First Fridays. She's a member of the French Club and leader of the Poetry Club. Brianna?
The Rights of Women by Anna Letitia Barbauld. Yes, injured woman, rise. Assert thy right. Woman, too long degraded, scorned, oppressed, born to rule in partial laws despite. Resume thy native empire or the breast. Go forth, arrayed in panoply divine, that angel pureness which admits no stain. Go, bid proud man his boasted rule resign, and kiss the golden scepter of thy reign. Go, gird thyself with grace. Collect thy store of bright artillery glancing from afar. Soft, melting tones thy thundering cannons roar. Blushes and fears, thy magazine of war. Thy rights are empire, urge no meaner claim. Felt, not defined, and if debated, lost, like sacred mysteries which, withheld from fame, shunning discussion, are revered the most. Try all that wit and art suggest to bend of thy imperial foe. The stubborn knee. Make treacherous man thy subject. Not thy friend. Thou mayst command, but never canst be free. Awe the licentious, and restrain the rude. Soften the sullen. Clear the cloudy brow. Be more than princes' gifts thy favors sued. She hazards all who will the least allow. But hope not courted idol of mankind. On this proud eminence secure to stay, subduing and subdued, thou soon shalt find thy coldness soften, and thy pride give way. Then abandon each ambitious thought. In nature's school, by her soft maxims taught, that separate rights are lost in mutual love.
Schubert is from Brookings High School. She's an avid cartoonist, sax player, singer, and she plans on heading to the East Coast to study music, art, film production after graduation. Julia?
A Song, Lying is an Occupation by Letitia Pilkington. Lying is an occupation used by all who mean to rise. Politicians owe their station but to well-concerted lies. These to lovers give assistance to ensnare the fair one's heart, and the virgin's best resistance yields to this commanding art. Study this superior science, would you rise in church or state. Bid to truth a bold defiance. 'Tis the practice of the great.
Nancy Flaherty from Watertown spends most of her time participating in debate, oral terp, and drama club. She plans to major in public relations and minor in theater somewhere. Nancy's favorite books are Matilda and The Night Circus, and her favorite movies, on the other hand, are my favorite too, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Die Hard.
The Goddess Who Created This Passing World by Alice Notley. The goddess who created this passing world said, "Let there be light bulbs and liquefaction." Life spilled out onto the street, colors whirled, cars and the variously shod feet were born. And the past and future and I born too. Light as airmail paper, away she flew to Annapurna or Mount McKinley or both, but instantly. Clarified, composed, forever was I meant by her to recognize a painting as beautiful or a movie stunning, and to adore the finitude of words, and understand, as surfaces my dreams know the eye, the organ of affection, and depths to be inflections of her voice and wrist and smile.
Next we have Gage Gramlich, a senior from Lincoln. He's going to attend the University of Chicago next year studying journalism, and he's not editing the school newspaper or analyzing literature. Gage loves to listen to Nina Simone and sip iced coffee. Gage?
The Strength of Fields by James L. Dickey. A separation from the world, a penetration to some source of power, and a life-enhancing return. Van Gennep writes the passage. Moth force, a small town always has given the night. What field forms can be, outlying the small civic light decisions over a man walking near home. Men are not where he is exactly now, but they are around him like the strength of fields. The solar system floats on above him in town moths. Tell me, train sound, with all your long-lost grief, what I can give. Dear Lord of all the fields, what am I going to do? Streetlights, blue force and frail as the homes of men. Tell me how to do it, how to withdraw, how to penetrate and find the source of the power you always had, light as a moth and rising, with the level and moonlit expansion of the fields around and the sleep of hoping men. You, I, what difference is there? We can all be saved by a secret blooming. Now, as I walk the night and you walk with me, we know simplicity is close to the source that sleeping men search for in their home-deep beds. We know that the sun is away. We know that the sun can be conquered by moths in blue hometown air. The stars splinter, pointed and wild. The dead lie under the pastures. They look on and help. Tell me, freight train, when there is no one else to hear. Tell me in a voice the sea would have if it had not a better one, as it lifts hundreds of miles away, its fumbling, deep-structured roar, like the profound, unstoppable craving of nations for their wish. Hunger. Time. And the moon. The moon lying on the brain as on the excited sea, as on the strength of fields. Lord, let me shake with purpose. Wild hope can always spring from tended strength. Everything is in that. That and nothing but kindness, more kindness, dear Lord, of the renewing green. That is where it all has to start with the simplest things. More kindness will do nothing less than save every sleeping one and night walking one of us. My life belongs to the world. I will do what I can.
Next, we have a sophomore from Vermilion, Annika Holdhusen. She's involved in show choir, marching band, and drama. She regularly competes in vocal competitions at the college level and has been accepted to the National Honor Choir. After graduation, Annika hopes to attend college for vocal performance and theater. Annika?
Harold and the Purple Crayon by D. Gilson. Berkeley psychologists told Harold his anger was justified. What parents let their child go for a midnight walk under no moon? I couldn't have been more than 4, Harold told the doctor in her crisp beige office. Doctor, could it ever be okay for a 4-year-old to eat 9 different types of pie? Harold asked her. Call me Lisa, the doctor replied. Everyone knew Harold could draw. By sophomore year, he was critiquing grad students. By 20, Harold knew exactly when to quote Sontag, standing in front of a professor's latest pastel of Mojave succulents. This just makes me think how, in place of hermeneutics, we need an erotics of art. Harold's professors would hum and nod their dragon heads, though none of them understood exactly what Harold said. By senior year, Harold became distant. His work increasingly angry. Apple trees, their fruit rotting in monochrome purple, under the notable lack of a moon.
Kimberly Braun is a junior at Rosholt. She's involved in cheerleading and oral interp. Her favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. She has 2 cats, Ricky and Charlotte. And I know there's a joke here, but I'm not going for it. And a dog, Duke, and she plans to major in nursing at SDSU.
Much Madness is Divinest Sense by Emily Dickinson. Much madness is divinest sense to a discerning eye. Much sense, a starkest madness. Assent, and you are sane. Demur, you're straightway dangerous and handled with a chain.
Elle Thompson is a senior from Flandreau. Ellen, Elle. Next year she plans to go to USF to study biology and theater. She wants to be a veterinarian, and she's mother to a 10-month-old, very cute potbelly pig named Mabel.
The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Paston. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love. But you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice, that downward tug on my mouth. My old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm dark strangled at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only Midas himself would understand.
Elise Heish is a senior from Sisseton. She's involved in student council and is a state FBLA president. She loves dance, concerts, traveling, and shopping. Her favorite book is A Tale of Two Cities, and her favorite poem is The Road Not Taken. Next year, you're going to find her at SDSU, majoring in advertising and minoring in business.
Meeting at Night by Robert Browning. The gray sea, and the long black land, and the yellow half moon, large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep. As I gain the cove with pushing prow, and quench its speed eye the slushy sand. Then a mile of warm, sea-scented beach. 3 fields to cross till a farm appears. A tap at the pane, the quick sharp scratch and blue spurt of a lighted match. And a voice less loud, through its joys and fears, than the 2 hearts beating, each to each.
We had many students put in write original poetry again this year, and we've got our top 3 poets. They were judged. We had 3 different judges this year that they sent them out to, and the top 3 poets are here today. Well, 2 of them are here today, right? Or all 3 here, but all 3 are here. Okay. First off, Anna Botasini from Vermilion. She's going to read her poem, "The Man Who Ran the Soup Kitchen."
the man who ran the soup kitchen. He was like any book character, for his positive attributes failed to disguise a main flaw. He saw the homeless and the hungry as family and friends. The guests deserved personal experiences, not gloves hiding helping hands, which defied the rules and regulations. But he did not care if the government didn't understand the kindness he loved to share. With a cheerful expression and a round stomach, he helped food be given to the homeless from his loving hand. Charitable and generous as he was, antiquated and sexist beliefs blurred his vision. Even his glasses did not allow him to see that she was equal to he. Pasta and coffee scents perfumed the air, while only men were asked to carry items from here to there. A young teenage girl ignored him. Without a care, she easily lifted a box of food from the humid June Chicago air into the noisy, bustling kitchen. Sick of the treatment, the sexism, she decided to prove that she could do anything he could do. An act of rebellion to him, but nothing new. To all those who believe women can do what men can do.
Okay, I think we're ready to start round two. This time, first up, we have Nancy.
"100 Love Sonnets 17 by Pablo Neruda, translated by Mark Eisner. I don't love you as if you were a rose of salt, topaz, or air of carnations that propagate fire. I love you as one loves certain obscure things, secretly, between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that doesn't bloom, but carries the light of those flowers, hidden within itself. And thanks to your love, the tight aroma that arose from the earth lives dimly in my body. I love you without knowing how, or when, or from where. I love you directly, without problems or pride. I love you like this because I don't know any other way to love, except in this form, in which I am not, nor are you, so close that your hand upon my chest is mine, so close that your eyes close with my dreams."
Julia.
After Working 60 Hours Again, For What Reason? By Bob Hicok. The best job I had was moving a stone from one side of the road to the other. This required a permit, which required a bribe. The bribe took all my salary. Yet, because I hadn't finished the job, I had no salary. And to pay the bribe, I took a job moving the stone the other way. Because the official wanted his bribe, he gave me a permit for the second job. When I pointed out that the work would be best completed if I did nothing, he complimented my brain and wrote a letter to my employer suggesting promotion on stationery bearing the wings of a raptor spread in flight over a mountain smaller than the bird. My boss, fearing my intelligence, paid me to sleep on the sofa and take lunch with the official who required a bribe to keep anything from being done. When I told my parents, they wrote my brother to come home from university, to be slapped on the back of the head. Dutifully, he arrived and bowed to receive his instruction, at which point sense entered his body and he asked what I could do by way of a job. I pointed out that there were stones everywhere trying not to move. All it took was a little gumption to be the man who didn't move them. It was harder to explain the intricacies of not obtaining a permit to not do this. Just yesterday, he got up at dawn and shaved, as if the lack of hair on his face has anything to do with the appearance of food on an empty table.
Brianna.
Pity the Beautiful by Dana Joya. Pity the beautiful, the dolls and the dishes, the babes with big daddies granting their wishes. Pity the pretty boys, the hunks and Apollos, the golden lads whom success always follows. The hotties, the knockouts, the 10s out of 10, the drop-dead gorgeous. The great leading men. Pity the faded, the bloated, the blousy, the paunchy Adonis whose luck's gone lousy. Pity the gods, no longer divine. Pity the night, the stars lose their shine.
Shayna.
Ode by Arthur O'Shaughnessy. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams, world losers and world's forsakers on whom the pale moon gleams, yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. With wonderful deathless ditties, we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample a kingdom down. We, in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth, built Nineveh with our sighing and Babel itself in our mirth, and overthrew them with prophesying to the old of the new world's worth. For each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth.
Elise?
Mrs. Caldera's House of Things by Gregory Janikian. You are sitting in Mrs. Caldera's kitchen. You are sipping a glass of lemonade and trying not to be too curious about the box of plastic hummingbirds behind you, the tray of tineless forks at your elbow. You have heard about the back room, where no one else has ever gone. And whatever enters remains. Refrigerator doors, fused coils, mower blades, milk bottles, pistons, gears. You never know, she says, rummaging through a cedar chest of recipes, when something will come of use. There is a vase of pencil tips on the table, a bowl full of miniature wheels and axles. Upstairs, where her children slept, the doors will not close. The stacks of magazines are burgeoning. There are snowshoes and lampshades, bed springs and picture tubes, and boxes of irreducibles. But Mrs. Caldera is baking cookies. She is humming a song from childhood. Her arms are heavy and strong. They have held babies, a husband, tractor parts, and gas tanks. What have they not found a place for? It is getting dark. You have sat for a long time. If you move, you feel something will be disturbed. There is room enough only for your body. Stay a while, Mrs. Caldera says, and never have you felt so valuable.
Ellen?
Holy Sonnets, Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. Death? Be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow die not, poor Death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep which put thy pictures be much pleasure, then from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go. Rest of their bones and soul's delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell, and poppy or charms can make us sleep as well and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die.
Kimberly.
The Layers by Stanley Kunitz. I have walked through many lives, some of them my own, and I am not who I was, though some principle of being abides from which I struggle not to stray. When I look behind, as I am compelled to look before I gather the strength to proceed on my journey, I see the milestones dwindling toward the horizon and the slow fires trailing from the abandoned campsites, over which scavenger angels wheel on heavy wings. Oh, I have made myself a tribe out of my true affections, and my tribe is scattered. How shall the heart be reconciled with its feast of losses? In a rising wind, the manic dust of my friends, those who fell along the way, bitterly stings my face. Yet I turn, exulting somewhat, with my will intact to go wherever I need to go, and every stone on the road precious to me. In my darkest night, when the moon was covered and I roamed through wreckage, a nimbus-clouded voice demanded me, live in the layers, not on the litter. Though I lack the art to decipher this, no doubt the next chapter in my book of transformations is already written. I am not done with my changes.
Annika.
The Mortician in San Francisco by Randall Mann. This may sound queer, but in 1985, I held the delicate hands of Dan White. I prepared him for burial. By then, Harvey Milk was made monument. No, myth by the years since he was shot. I remember when Harvey was shot. 20, and I knew I was queer. Those were the years. Levi's and leather jackets, holding hands on Castro Street, cheering for Harvey Milk. Elected on the same day as Dan White. I often wonder about Supervisor White, who fatally shot Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Milk, who was one of us, a Castro queer. May 21st, 1979. A jury hands down the sentence. 7 years. In truth, 5 years for ex-cop, ex-fireman Dan White, for the blood on his hands. When he confessed he had shot the mayor and the queer, a few men in blue cheered. Harvey Milk? Why cry over spilled milk? Some wondered semi-privately for years. It meant one less queer. The jurors turned to White. If just the mayor had been shot, Dan might have had trouble on his hands. But the 12 who held his life in their hands maybe didn't mind the death of Harvey Milk. Maybe the second murder offered him a shot at serving only a few years. In the end, he committed suicide, this Dan White, and was made presentable by a queer.
And concluding round 2, Gage.
Onions by William Matthews. How easily happiness begins by dicing onions. A lump of sweet butter slithers and swirls across the floor of the sauté pan, especially if its errant path crosses a tiny slick of olive oil. Then, a tumble of onions. This could mean soup, or risotto, or chutney, from the Sanskrit chutney, to lick. Slowly, the onions go limp, and then nacreous, and then what cookbooks call clear, though if they were eyes, you could see clearly the cataracts in them. It's true. It can make you weep to peel them, to unfurl and to tease from the top ball first the brittle, caramel-colored and decrepit papery outside layer, the least recent the reticent onion wrapped around its growing body, for there's nothing to an onion but skin. And it's true, you can go on weeping as you go on in to the moist middle skins, the sweetest and thickest. And you can go on into the core, to the bud-like, acrid, fibrous skins densely clustered there, stocky and incomplete. And these are the most pungent, like the nuggets of nightmare and rage and murmury animal comfort that infant humans secrete. This is the best domestic perfume. You sit down to eat with a rumor of onions still on your twice-washed hands and lift to your mouth a hint of a story about loam and usual endurance. It's there when you clean up and rinse the wine glasses and make a joke. And you leave the minutest whiff of it on the light switch later when you climb the stairs.
Okay, our second original poetry submission today, Natalie Kaufman from Vermilion, and Anna is going to read this one. Is that correct? Okay.
I Am From by Natalie Kaufman. I am from daydreaming about turbulent blue waters and salty air. I am from looking at the doorknob in the mirror instead of myself. I am from making friends with a snake. I am from watching said snake being eaten by a hawk the next day. I am from painting galaxies on my ceiling so I can look up at night and see artificial stars twinkling. I am from hunching over my desk as I sculpt and paint. I'm from dreaming of something more, but being too afraid and too self-conscious to achieve it. I'm from clay stuck to my hands and paint ruining my nail polish. I'm from getting paint on almost every hoodie I own. I'm from walking along a lake shore and wishing it was an ocean.
All right, let's start round 3. First up, we have Elise.
And If I Did What Then by George Gascoigne. And if I did what then? Are you aggrieved therefore? The sea hath fish for every man, and what would you have more? Thus did my mistress once amaze my mind with doubt, and popped a question for the nonce to beat my brains about. Whereto I thus replied, each fisherman can wish that all the seas at every tide were his alone to fish. And so did I, in vain, but since it may not be, let such fish thereas find the gain and leave the loss for me. And with such luck and loss, I will content myself till tides of turning time may toss such fishers on the shelf. And when they stick on sands that every man may see, then will I laugh and clap my hands as they do now at me.
Ellie.
Undivided Attention by Taylor Mali. A grand piano wrapped in quilted pads by movers, tied up with canvas straps, like classical music's birthday gift to the criminally insane, is gently nudged without its legs out an 8th floor window on 62nd Street. It dangles in the April air from the neck of the mover's crane. Chopin's shiny black lacquer squares and dirty white crisscross patterns hanging like the second to last note of a concerto played on the edge of the seat. The edge of tears, the edge of 8 stories up going over. It's a piano being pushed out of a window and lowered down onto a flatbed truck. And I'm trying to teach math in the building across the street. Who can teach when there are such lessons to be learned? All the greatest common factors are delivered by long-necked cranes and flatbed trucks, or come through everything, even air, like snow. See, snow falls for the first time every year. And every year my students rush to the window as if snow were more interesting than math. Which, of course, it is. So, please, let me teach like a Steinway, spinning slowly in April air, so almost falling, so hinderingly dangling from the neck of the mover's crane. So on the edge of losing everything. Let me teach like the first snow falling.
Kimberly.
Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet, when far away an uninterrupted cry came over the houses from another street. But not to call me back or to say goodbye, and further still at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night.
Annika.
Why? Because the Dazzling Sun by Emily Bronte. Why? Because the dazzling sun restored my earth to joy. A few departed, every one, and left a desert sky. All through the night, your glorious eyes were gazing down in mine, and with a full heart's thankful sighs, I blessed that watch divine. I was at peace and drank your beams as they were life to me, and reveled in my changeful dreams like petrel on the sea. Thought followed thought, star followed star, through boundless regions on, while one sweet influence, near and far, thrilled through and proved us one. Why did the morning rise to break so great, so pure a spell, and scorch with fire the tranquil cheek where your cool radiance fell? Blood red he rose, and arrow straight his fierce beams struck my brow. The soul of nature sprang elate, while mine sank sad and low. My lids closed down, yet through their veil I saw him blazing still, and bathe in gold the misty dale, and flash upon the hill. I turned me to the pillow then, to call back night and see your worlds of solemn light again throb with my heart and me. It would not do. The pillow glowed and glowed both roof and floor, and birds sang loudly in the wood, and fresh winds shook the door. The curtains waved, the wakened flies were murmuring round my room, imprisoned there, till I should rise and give them leave to roam. O stars, O dreams, and gentle night, O night and stars, return and hide me from the hostile light that does not warm, but burn, that drains the blood of suffering men, drinks tears instead of dew. Let me sleep through his blinding rain and only wake with you.
Gage.
Where Did the Handsome Beloved Go? By Jalal al-Din Rumi. Where did the handsome beloved go? I wonder, where did that tall, shapely cypress tree go? He spread his light among us like a candle. Where did he go? So strange. Where did he go without me? All day long my heart trembles like a leaf, all alone at midnight. Where did that beloved go? Go to the road and ask any passing traveler, that soul-stirring companion, where did he go? Go to the garden and ask the gardener, that tall, shapely rose stem, where did he go? Go to the rooftop and ask the watchman, that unique sultan, where did he go? Like a madman I search in the meadows, that deer in the meadows, where did he go? My tearful eyes overflow like a river that purl in the vast sea, where did he go? All night long I implore both moon and Venus, that lovely face like a moon, where did he go? If he is mine, why is he with others, since he is not here? To what there did he go? If his heart and soul are joined with God, and he left this realm of earth and water, where did he go? Tell me clearly, Shams Tabriz, of whom it is said the sun never dies. Where did he go?
Nancy.
Revenge by Letitia Elizabeth Landon. I gaze upon her rose-wreathed hair and gaze upon her smile. Seem as you drank the very air, her breath perfumed the while. And wake for her the gifted line that wild and witching lay, and swear your heart is as a shrine that only owns her sway. 'Tis well, I am revenged at last. Mark you that scornful cheek. The eye averted as you passed spoke more than words could speak. Aye, now by all the bitter tears that I have shed for thee, the racking doubts, the burning fears, avenged they well may be. By the nights past in sleepless care, the days of endless woe, all that you taught my heart to bear, all that yourself will know. I would not wish to see you laid within an early tomb. I should forget how you'd betrayed and only weep your doom. But this is fitting punishment, to live and love in vain. O my wrung heart, be thou content and feed upon his pain. Go thou and watch her lightest sigh, thine own it will not be, and bask beneath her sunny eye, it will not turn on thee. 'Tis well, the rack, the chain, the wheel, far better hadst thou proved. Even I could almost pity feel, for thou art not beloved.
Julia.
Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away, an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed the time was neither wrong nor right. I have been one acquainted with the night.
Brianna.
Candles by Carl Dennis. If on your grandmother's birthday you burn a candle to honor her memory, you might think of burning an extra to honor the memory of someone who never met her. A man who may have come to the town she lived in looking for work and never found it. Picture him, taking a stroll one morning after a month of grief with the want ads to refresh himself in the park before moving on. Suppose he notices on the gravel path the shards of a green glass bottle that your grandmother, then still a girl, will be destined to step on when she wanders barefoot away from her school picnic if he doesn't stoop down and scoop the mess up with the want ad section and carry it to a trash can. For you to burn a candle for him, you needn't suppose the cut would be a deep one. Just deep enough to keep her at home. The night of the hayride when she meets Helen, who is soon to become her dearest friend, whose brother George, 30 years later, helps your grandfather with a loan so his shoe store doesn't go under in the Great Depression. And his son, your father, is able to stay in school where his love of learning is fanned into flames. A love he labors later to kindle in you. How grateful you are for your father's efforts is shown by the candles you've burned for him. But today, for a change, why not a candle for the man whose name is unknown to you? Take a moment to wonder whether he died at home with friends and family or alone, on the road, on the lookout for no one to sit at his bedside and hold his hand. The very hand it's time for you to imagine holding.
And finally, we've got Shayna.
To Have Without Holding by Marge Piercy. Learning to love differently is hard. Love with the hands wide open, love with the doors banging on their hinges, the cupboard unlocked, the wind roaring and whimpering in the rooms, rustling the sheets and snapping the blinds that thwack like rubber bands in an open palm. It hurts to love wide open, stretching the muscles that feel as if they are made of wet plaster, then of blunt knives, then of sharp knives. It hurts to thwart the reflexes of grab, of clutch, to love and let go again and again. It pesters to remember the lover who is not in the bed, to hold back what is owed to the work that gutters like a candle in a cave, without air to love consciously, concisely, concretely, constructively. I can't do it. You say it's killing me, but you thrive. You glow on the street like a neon raspberry. You float and sail a helium balloon, bright bachelor's button blue, and bobbing on the cold and hot winds of our breath as we make and unmake in passionate diastole and systole, the rhythm of our unbound bonding to have and not to hold. To love with minimized malice, hunger and anger, moment by moment, balanced.
So, good job, everybody. You can all breathe now. That was excellent. Good job. We got our last original poet today, Jada Anderson from Watertown.
Coward. I hear the shouting. I don't get up. Turn up the music. It'll be over soon. The yelling stops. Silence, stretching on forever. A slam of the door, a screech of tires. You come into the room. Tears run down your face. And lay by me, soaking my shirt. I hold you. Brush your hair from your face. Rub your back. It'll all be okay. One day we'll be free. One day we'll be grown. One day I'll face them. One day I won't be a coward. One day we'll be free.
So we're going to take a short break here, but first let's just talk about how good those 3 poems were. You guys, that was excellent. So we're going to tally up scores, and everybody take about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And we'll meet back up here.
Hi everyone, we're ready to do the awards here now, and I'm going to start with just a round of thank yous. Thank you to our judges, Ted and Barbara and Ray, thank you so much for being here. Also our preliminary round judges, Francie Davis, Roger Hartley, and Jamie Olson, and our original poetry judges were Patrick Hicks, Libby Hill, and Ann Pearson-Wise. I also want to say a quick thank you to all of our partners, the Sioux Falls School District, Arts South Dakota Public Broadcasting, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Poetry Foundation, and Stephen Thurman of Thurman & Thurman is here to take photos, so please don't leave after we finish. We need to get pictures of everybody. The first award I'm going to give out is our Teacher of the Year Award for Poetry Out Loud. We have a small but mighty group of really dedicated teachers who carry out this program in South Dakota. We do ask them to submit their lesson plans and their reports from their schools as part of this. And this year's Teacher of the Award is Sharon Prendergast from Sisseton High School. Sharon is incredibly dedicated. She has been carrying out this program in Sisseton with all of her students. They know more poetry than any other town in the whole state, I think.
Well,
and
thank you.
Sharon wins a $500 cash award.
Wow.
So now we're going to bring up the original poetry students and give you your prizes.
So Anna Bodasini from Vermilion, Natalie Kaufman from Vermilion, and Jada Anderson from Watertown. All of you get $100 and a book from our poet laureate. Okay, I'm going to bring up each each student one by one here. You're all going to stay on stage together. So first off, it's Julia Schubert from Brookings. And Ellie Thompson from Flandreau. Shana Detterman from Hanson. And Gage Gramlich from Lincoln. Kimberly Braun from Roswell. Elise Hesch from Sisseton. Annika Holhusen from Vermilion. Brianna Rohr from Washington. And Nancy Flaherty from Watertown.
And they're good at poetry, not geometry. If I don't take 10 of these, the person who's doing the layout will say, what the heck? That should be good. Thank you. You have other things.
We do have other things. Why don't you guys line up again? We're going to announce runner-up and winner. So, runner-up today, getting a $150 Barnes & Noble gift card and a nice trophy, is Nancy Flaherty from Watertown. You stay up here. And then today's winner gets a $300 gift certificate from Barnes & Noble and a trophy for the school and a trip to the Nationals in DC. And that's Gage Gramlich from Lincoln High School. And all of our contestants today get a $25 gift card to Barnes & Noble. We good with pictures?
Okay, thank you all. You can file down, but we're going to bring people back up for photos. So please stick around, including teachers as well.
All right, thank you, everybody.